Hello family, Chef Lorious here. Welcome back to the Love Lab. Today we're making monkey bread. Okay, I admit I'm trying to bribe my kids, but do what you gotta do, right? Come on in the kitchen, let's cook. Okay, so monkey bread. We're gonna start off by actually making our bread from scratch. Now you can buy a pack of biscuits and things, but to me, when you buy the biscuits and cut them up, it's just a little too dense and thick. So I prefer to make my own. I'm gonna show you it's not that hard. We're gonna start with some warm milk here. Now I've got my milk heated to about 110 degrees, and you wanna be very careful that you don't have your liquid too cold and you don't have it too hot, because the yeast is basically asleep, right? So if you have it too cold, it can't wake up. You know what I'm saying? If it's too hot, poor yeast is like, ah! You know what I mean? So you want it just right, just around between 109 to 115 degrees, okay? That's first thing. Second thing is I put a little bit of sugar in here to feed the yeast, okay? Because think about it. When you wake up from a nap, what do you want? Some food, and that's what the sugar is. All right, so we're gonna just set this aside so our yeast can start waking up and everything. And in all honesty, you guys, as long as you're using fresh yeast, it's really gonna be okay. All right, but anyway, I'm supposed to tell you to prove it. That's the correct answer. So you're gonna let that sit for just a few minutes, just until it gets a little cloudy. It won't foam up like it does with water because milk has a different chemical makeup, but you're still gonna wake the yeast up and you'll still know that it's ready to go. Now here in our stand mixer, what we've got going is some bread flour, and I'm using bread flour because bread flour has a nice high protein content, which means it will give our rolls, or the portion of the bread portion of the monkey bread, a lot of structure, and that's what we want. We don't want them falling apart, right? The little balls, we want them to stay together. So we're gonna use bread flour with nice high protein. I'm gonna just give this a little whisk, okay? Just to get it mixed up, and I'm going to add to that, these are my dry ingredients, a teaspoon of salt, because salt is very important. You can't skip the salt step, baby. You just cannot skip the salt step. And I'm also gonna add this sugar. I had about a quarter cup here. When you're doing sometimes a regular type of cinnamon roll, you might wanna use a half of a cup or something, but we're going to bathe this in brown sugar and cinnamon and butter, so I really think we're probably good, okay, with a quarter cup, all right? Get that going in there. And what I have here in this cup is just some extra flour. So right now, like I said, I've got about 4 cups in there, but I might need to add up to an extra cup. So there's an extra cup here. We have to see how the dough reacts and how it pulls away, or if it's too sticky, okay? All right, so let's look at our yeast here. You see this? See how it's gotten a little bit foamy? So we know that it's waking up, but not like with water when you see it puff up, okay? But we know that this yeast is awake. So we're going to add it into our dry mixture. There we go. And I'm gonna stop halfway, because then I'm gonna add some vegetable oil. And the vegetable oil is gonna help us have a really nice and light dough roll. All right, there we go. Let me get every piece of that yeast out. See there? Okay. And now we're going to start mixing. I'm using my dough hook. And what's gonna happen is this dough needs to absorb all of this liquid and this goodness and mix together, all right? So see, I just got it started, and we're gonna put this on a kind of medium speed, just for a couple of minutes, till it comes together. Then we're going to see if we need to add more flour, and then we'll pick up the pace and let this do all the kneading for us. You can use your hands, but I'm always telling y'all, God gave us this modern technology. We need to use it. Kneading by hand, that's some hard work. I want you to notice how our dough is really coming together nicely, and I did not have to add any extra flour. I'm surprised. I thought I was gonna need to add extra flour, but the conditions in the house are just right. And sometimes what you have to remember is that depending on how the air is, you may have to add a little bit more or less. Okay guys, so now look at how beautiful our dough is. You see that? This is absolutely lovely. And you see how it kind of is pulling like that? That's good gluten development, which is gonna give it that structure I was talking about. So what we wanna do is just get it off the dough hook in here. Oh man, this is beautiful. I'm so excited. I love nice soft dough, you know, when it's fresh. It smells good, it tastes good. We're gonna give this its first rise. Now this is gonna have 2 rises. I should probably say 1.5 rises because we're just gonna do 1 rise in the oven and then the other rise will be a brief one before we cook them. So I've got a bowl here and I've got some vegetable oil. Here it is. I'm going to oil line the bowl so that the stuff don't stick, because it'll stick if you don't, you know, be careful. Now I could do this with my hands or I could use a paper towel, but I'm being proper for the video. All right, see that? Make sure that you go all the way up to the sides because you don't know exactly how high this is gonna rise. Oh yeah. There we go, see there? Boom, ball. Woo, come into focus, ball, there you go, okay? See how nice and soft that is? Really, this is just beautiful. I love this. Now, I'm not really kneading it because the machine did all the kneading. I'm just putting it into a ball and then I'm gonna put it into my bowl. Now, make sure though that you get some oil all over your ball as well so you don't have different textures or scale form on top of this as it rises. We are gonna put this in a warm place and let it rise for 1 to 2 hours, okay? No less than an hour, okay? And I would say stop at no more than 2. So I'm gonna cover it up. I'm going to put it in a warm place with no draft. I'm gonna put it in my oven with the door closed. That way it can stay in a nice little cocoon and just have its time. You can also sometimes just put it in the microwave. Don't turn the microwave on, but you can cover it and put it in there because it'll be warm in there and there's no extra draft. All right, let's put this in the oven. The oven is not on, and let it rise for at least an hour. Well, family, our dough has risen for about 1.5 hours and look at this. Okay, that is absolutely beautiful. Now I'm taking my bracelets off because we're getting ready to do some things with this dough. First we want to do is punch it down, okay? I know they punch it, that feels rude to me, okay? So I'm just gonna get it down, okay? There, that's good enough. See how nice and soft this is? Oh, this is gonna be so good. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm using my cutting board. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of flour, okay? Because we don't want it to stick. It shouldn't, but you know, we don't want to everything that should happen don't happen. You can keep living if you haven't experienced that. All right, now we're gonna just, oh, look at that. She's so soft. Ooh, look at that. So I'm just gonna use my hands to push her out. See that? I don't even need a roller pin or anything. Look how soft this is. Now what I do recommend as you do that, pick it up one time here and there, flop her over. Just make sure, don't worry about little things like it having indentions like that, don't worry. We're gonna roll it all up in balls anyway, okay? So it really doesn't matter. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna go in with my bench cutter and just get it going so I can make these into balls that we're going to put in our butt pan for baking. This, just so you know, when you're using a cutting board, if you put a little damp towel underneath it, it won't wiggle all over the place. That was free from me to you. All right, and here is my butt pan. I have sprayed this with cooking spray very, very well. See here, all I'm doing? Rolling them in balls. Not going overboard, overthinking it, or anything. Just rolling them quickly. Here I've got some melted butter, okay? And here I've got some sugar and cinnamon mixed together. You're gonna take each ball. This is why I got the gloves, now I remember. I didn't want to get my hands a mess. Forgot for a second there. Take the balls, dip it in the butter, coat it good in the butter, then dip it in the cinnamon sugar, coat it well. See there? Okay? And then drop them down. Butter, sugar. All right, so we got all of our monkey bread balls done. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, after I put them all in, covered them with the tea towel, just set them aside for about, 15 minutes or so. And they keep rising. That's the second rise I was telling you about. Now we're gonna go to what makes the ooey gooey goodness that we love. This is a combination of brown sugar and butter, okay? And some cinnamon and a little splash of vanilla. And all we're gonna do See that? It's just kind of whisk these together. And then we are gonna take this and we are gonna be really bad, but really good. You wanna pour this all over like this, see that? And that's gonna drizzle into all of this while it cooks. And this is gonna be so good. I'm gonna get Mama of the Year award for this. I know it. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna put this on a baking sheet, bake it in a 350-degree oven for about 35 to 45 minutes, okay? We wanna make sure that all of the balls get done, okay? All right, I'm gonna put this in the oven. Oh, it's gonna bake you. It's gonna be so good. All right, and I'll see you guys, well, a couple seconds for you, but almost an hour for me. Okay, guys, it's the moment of truth. Let's get into it. All right. Oh my goodness. Do you see the goo situation on this? Can you see that? Can you see that? Oh my word. Oh my God, this is begging to be eaten. I'm gonna get Mama of the Year. I know it. I just know I'm getting Mama of the Year. Thanks for joining me, guys. It's been a pleasure and I've had a ball. I will see you next time right here on Calibama Cooking with Chef Lorious. That's me. Happy cooking.